How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Today I will be doing a fantasy draft, completely resetting the league. I'm pretty excited for this. These are always very fun to do. I wanted to do it myself again on Madden 25. So I'm going to just do a quick fantasy draft, going to sim all the way to the end and do a quick recap of all the teams, and we'll see how the season plays out. So obviously first up is the freaking Bears with Amon-Ra St. Brown. So he goes to a division rival. Got Trevon Diggs right here. Their QB will be Derek Carr and Andy Dalton. Wow, so the Bears are still poverty. Oh, damn, that sucks. Down to the Bengals. As their QB, they got Trevor Lawrence. They also got Nick Bosa, Creed Humphrey, Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers. So a pretty good core team. The Bengals are, aren't too bad, honestly. Just need some better QB play. The Bills got Minka, Marlon Humphrey, David Njoku, Garrett Wilson, Jaquan Brisker. So, not too bad. Their QB is Justin Fields. So, Bills, not looking the greatest. The Broncos got A.J. Brown, Antoine Winfield, L'Jarius Sneed, Khalil Mack. They got James Cook, Anthony Richardson as their QB. So I'm just gonna scroll through these on my own, and then the cool ones we'll just stop by and check out. So Josh Allen, George Kittle, JSN, Tyrann Mathieu, George Pickens, Alvin Kamara. This is a crazy team. Holy shit. So the Buccaneers are a team to look out for. This is an insane team. Wow. Then for the Cardinals, we got Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs. We got Nico Collins. We got Julian Love, Jonnu Smith. So this is a pretty good team as well. The Cardinals looking pretty nasty with Patrick Mahomes. That is weird to say. 99 Derrick Henry's on the Chargers. So the Cowboys looking kind of nasty with Joe Mixon, Trey Hendrickson, Xavier McKinney, Devon Witherspoon, and they got Jay Herbo, Chris Godwin, Dre Greenlaw. So a pretty good roster here for Dallas. Michael Parsons and Saquon Barkley on the same team. That's crazy. 1-2 right there on each side of the ball. Other than that, the roster doesn't look too good. For the Falcons, the team that we're controlling, we got Tristan Wirfs, Sauce Gardner, Bobby Wagner. Our QB is Drake May. So, not too bad. Not too bad if I say so myself. For the 49ers, they got Myles Garrett. They keep Brandon Ayuk on the roster. And we got Russell Wilson here in San Francisco. That's weird. Here on the Giants, we got Jahmyr Gibbs, Mark Andrews, Stephon Diggs, Brock Purdy. Pretty good Giants roster. Not too crazy, though. The Jaguars, they got Lamar Jackson. They got Denzel Ward, Trey McBride. They got Juszczyk, Brandon Aubrey, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Zay Flowers. So, honestly, a pretty good Jaguars roster right here. Pretty scary stuff. So Jaden Daniels went to the Patriots in this fantasy draft. They also got Roquan Smith, TJ Hawkinson, DK Metcalf. Pretty good Ladd McConkey, J.K. Dobbins. So a pretty good team right here in Foxborough. So the Texans, they got Jay Jettas. We got Kirby Joseph. We got Travarius Ward. We got Kenny Moore, Aaron Jones, James Conner, Patrick Queen, Baker Mayfield. So a pretty good team out here in Houston, not going to lie. And here we are. The Titans got Joe Burrow and CMC. Holy shit. Sam Laporta as well. This is a crazy team right here. This is an offense going to be nasty with Cooper Kupp as well, with Josh Downs and Tutu Atwell. Wow. That is a good-ass offense. I'm not going to lie. The Texans, you better watch out for them. Wow. You better watch out for these Titans. That's crazy. CJ Stroud's on the Vikings with Terry McLaurin. So that's a pretty good 1-2 right there. So, yeah, we just did a quick run-through of the league. I'm going to sim 1 year. I want to see how this goes and see who's the best team in the league. So here we are at the end of the season. The Falcons, the team we're controlling, did not make it. We went 8-9. And let's look at the playoff bracket. So the first seed is the Raiders, and the first seed on the NFC is the Cowboys. Patrick Mahomes on the Cardinals went number 2 seed. The Titans, the team I told you to look out for, was the number 2 seed in the AFC. Bengals were also the number 4 seed. So the Jaguars being the 5th seed is pretty crazy, not going to lie. The Saints, seeing how they did this year, being the 3 seed is crazy. But honestly, the playoffs didn't really change too much. Obviously, the Raiders being the 1 seed is like, what the fuck? That's I think the biggest WTF. We're going to go see how the Raiders did exactly, and go look more in depth at the roster to see what really made them do good. And real quick, Drake May had 4,600 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions. That's definitely going to be Rookie of the Year, right? Khalil Shakir and Amari Cooper both over had 1,000 yards. Shakir almost had 20 touchdowns. That might be OPOY as well. So here we are. On the Raiders, they had Jalen Hurts with 3,100 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. They had Kyron Williams with 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns. Devin Singletary with 8 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts with 2 touchdowns. Receiving, they had Dontavian Wicks with 700 yards. Pat Fryermuth with 700 yards, DJ Moore 600. So, I mean, this team wasn't even that crazy. Another 1 seed. Their defense must have been insane. So, yeah, we got Gonzo with 6 interceptions, Frankie Louvu with 3, Kobe Bryant with 3. Rest in peace, Kobe, by the way. We had a Quinnen Williams with 13 sacks. The Titans did have the best offense in the league, though. I mean, we don't find the Raiders till all the way down here. I mean, I don't know how the Raiders were this good. Their defense was about top 10. They went 15-2. I mean, what the fuck were the Raiders on this fantasy draft? So we'll just run through the whole NFL and QB stats real quick. Joe Burrow with the most. He had 4,800 passing yards with 39 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. Dak Prescott next with 4,600 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, 11. Drake May also with his stat line. Geno Smith had a pretty good year. Jared Goff had a pretty good year. So did Jordan Love. Well, actually, Geno Smith had 20 interceptions along with Drake May's 19. So not too great a year for them. Michael Penis got 21 interceptions, but 42 touchdowns on there. Lamar did pretty good with 40-9. 41-6 for Josh Allen and the Bucks. Anthony Richardson went 34-25. Bro. Caleb Williams was 17 for 17. The yards just kind of drop off here as we go down the list. CJ Stroud had a very underperforming year with 3,200 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Jalen Hurts had the least amount of passing yards throughout all the QBs. Their games must have been decided by like 1 possession every single week. And for rushing yards, Josh Jacobs had 1,600 rushing yards. Joe Mixon 1,400. Nick Chubb 1,300. Derrick Henry 1,300. Joe Mixon had 24 touchdowns on the year. That is the most out of any running back. The next had 17. So Joe Mixon had a phenomenal year. Christian McCaffrey had 1,100 yards, 17 touchdowns for Isaiah Pacheco, 16 touchdowns for J.K. Dobbins. Just kind of crazy around the league, honestly. Like, a lot of these players, obviously you expect most of these guys to do good, but they're definitely like Josh Jacobs producing this well on the Cardinals is kind of crazy. Now for receiving yards, Cooper Kupp had the most. Like I said, the Titans were one to watch out for. He had 1,600 yards with 18 touchdowns. Devontae Smith the Slim Reaper had 1,400 yards with 20 touchdowns. Khalil Shakir with 19 and 1,400. So wide receivers 8 this year. A lot of touchdowns definitely with these top wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb also had a great year. I mean, these are guys you wouldn't see in the top 5 usually. So, I mean, I guess once they get their shot, they're going to take advantage of it with Devontae Smith, Khalil Shakir, and Chris Godwin. Jamar Chase on the Packers had 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. Debo had 1,000 yards flat and 5 touchdowns. Now, for the most tackles in the league, it was Roquan Smith. The most sacks was Chris Jones, and then Cameron Hayward, and then we got Max Crosby and TJ Watt and Danielle Hunter being all tied for 14. Most interceptions was Chidobe Awuzie. I don't know if I'm even saying that right. Every time I see his name, I just don't even know how to say it. I should really learn it. And then Jalen Petrie had 7 interceptions on the Niners, and then the rest of the league just kind of started tying it up. The most deflections was Shaq Thompson, Lil Chenal, both with 15. Azeez Al-Shaair had 3 forced fumbles. Kaden Ellis had 4 fumble recoveries. And Marcus Jones and Juan Thornhill. Juwan or Juan? I don't know. Why do I know how to say? I just totally forgot how to say his name. That's crazy. Both had 2 touchdowns in the league, and then obviously everyone else with 1 touchdown. Only 1 return touchdown this year, and it was Stephon Diggs with 1 punt return touchdown. So yeah, the league is looking pretty crazy right now. I mean, I don't even know. For the yearly awards, Josh Allen is ahead for the MVP. Then it's Joe Burrow, and then Dak Prescott. Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC is Cooper Kupp so far, then Keenan Allen, and then Joe Burrow. Chris Jones will get DPOY more than likely. Then Roquan Smith is second. Rome Odunze had AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Darius Knight. And the NFC OPOY is going to be Devonta Smith. Max Crosby for DPOY. Drake May had Offensive Rookie of the Year on lock. And then Byron Murphy with Defensive Rookie of the Year on the Bears. So overall, I mean, all of this kind of makes sense. Nothing super crazy from what I can tell. Obviously, Drake May being top 3 in passing yards, but homie didn't even make the playoffs, which kind of sucks. We're gonna sim the first week, see who goes on to the divisional round. We're gonna see the Titans and see Joe Burrow most likely make the Super Bowl is what my pick is. So the first game we have the Titans beating the Denver Broncos. Joe Burrow had 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Anthony Richardson had 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. For the Broncos, James Cook had a horrible day with rushing, and so did Anthony Richardson. Christian McCaffrey had 123 yards and 1 touchdown. Great game by Christian McCaffrey. So yeah, I mean, Rashid Shaheed had 2 touchdowns, 67 yards. So he was the only one who really showed up today. But for the Titans, Cooper Kupp had a crazy game, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sam Laporta had 70 yards and 1 touchdown. Josh Downs with 80 yards. So that, like I said, this team is going to be crazy. The Titans is insane. The Titans are an insane team. Next was the Chiefs and Dolphins. The Dolphins beat the Chiefs 20-6. Sam Darnold beat Jared Goff in the head-to-head. Jared Goff had 2 interceptions. Saquon Barkley helped the Dolphins out to get 90 yards and a touchdown and the W. And Kyle Pitts, he finally showed up. Of course, it wasn't during fantasy. He had 94 yards and 6 receptions, 15 PPR right there. And Lamar Jackson and T-Law go head-to-head, and Lamar Jackson takes the dub with 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and 300 yards, compared to Trevor Lawrence's 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Tajay Spears, and Tank Bigsby both kind of had a mediocre game, but the receiving part of it for both teams was crazy. Odell Beckham, Trey McBride, Rondale Moore all had 2 touchdowns. So great game. OBJ had 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. Very vintage game right there for OBJ. Zay Flowers had a good receiving game. Devontae Adams did as well. But Lamar Jackson and the Jags take that one. On the NFC side, Patrick Mahomes and the Cardinals win. He had 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jameis Winston had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Josh Jacobs putting up his crazy year still with 87 yards and 1 touchdown. Pretty good game by him. Nico Collins coming in clutch with 146 yards, but no touchdowns. Kendrick Bourne and Josh Jacobs decided to pick up those receiving touchdowns. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes and the Cardinals move on. And the Rams beat the Saints. Michael Penix beats Dak Prescott. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dak Prescott, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. For rushing, Bijan had 2 touchdowns, so a decent game by him. Cam Akers, well, I only say decent because he had 44 rushing yards. Cam Akers had a mediocre game. Dak Prescott had a rushing touchdown. Xavier Legette had 116 yards and 1 touchdown. The rookie tried to do his best, but he just couldn't do enough. Devonta Smith and Brandon Cooks both had great games. Then Bijan, though, receiving, he had 4 touchdowns on the day. So, wow, he didn't have a lot of... He almost had 100 scrimmage yards and 4 touchdowns. So, actually a really good game by Bijan. The Rams take that one right there. The Packers beat the Commanders. Battle of the rookies. J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix. I mean, just a pretty rookie game right there. Nick Chubb with 71 yards. Antonio Gibson. Wow, Antonio Gibson. Holy shit. Ray Davis, both with a touchdown. Paris Campbell had 3 receptions for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a fucking Randy Moss stat line right there. Olave got 97 yards and 1 touchdown. So nothing too crazy. Just a very, very booty game right there. So we're going to go into the divisional. We got the Cowboys and Rams, Cardinals and Packers, Dolphins and Titans, and Raiders and Jags. I'm pretty sure the Jags are going to whoop the Raiders because the Raiders did not deserve to be this far. And the divisional is set. As I said, the Raiders got beat by the Jags. The Titans lose to the Dolphins. No way. The Cardinals and Mahomes beat the Packers. And Cowboys smoked the Rams. Now we're in the championships on each side. So the Mahomes versus Jay Herbo. And then we got Lamar and Sam Darnold in the AFC. So this is going to be just a weird matchup, honestly. Let's advance to the Super Bowl and we'll try to watch the Super Bowl. And the Dolphins and the Cardinals are in the Super Bowl. What the fuck? I mean, holy shit. Lamar just gets his ass handed to him. They do not advance. The Dolphins and Sam Darnold advance. Sam Darnold had a horrible game too. No touchdowns, 1 interceptions, 248 yards. Lamar Jackson didn't have a good game either. And the Cowboys got smoked by Patrick Mahomes. 185 yards and only 1 touchdown for Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert only had 105 yards. He was 9 for 24. Completion percentage was 37%. Wow. I want to go into the Super Bowl and see if we can get a close game. If not, we'll just quickly sim through it and then we'll see who wins. So 13-4 Cardinals against the 11-6 Dolphins. Let's get into the Super Bowl. So here we are. I will jump in if we can, if there's a good moment. So here we are, the second quarter. There is 1st and goal for the Dolphins. They are on the 5-yard line. This is a big drive right here. Hands it off to Saquon. Saquon's going to run it in. Wow, Saquon Barkley. The Dolphins came to play. Pretty good game so far. 1st and goal. The Dolphins are looking to score a touchdown. Maybe hand it off to Saquon again. I don't see why you wouldn't. Let the man play. Sam Darnold looking. Throws it to Saquon. He has a blocker. Saquon with 2 touchdowns on the day. Saquon carrying the team. And the Dolphins score a quick touchdown. Wow, they are going to win the Super Bowl. No fucking way. Unless the Cardinals can put up a good drive right here. it is game over. Wow, it's a first down. Patrick Mahomes barely keeping the season alive. They're trying to crawl back into this game. So the Dolphins just scored another touchdown. This is game over. I mean, there's just no hope left for the Cardinals. Just no hope at all. It's done. Mahomes and the Cardinals are going home. The Dolphins, Sam Darnold is going to win a Super Bowl. 5 seconds left. We're just going to see the Super Bowl win animation. I mean, it's over. It's over. The Dolphins win the Super Bowl. They got big play Slay, as you can see right there. Saquon Barkley, Sam Darnold, Cole Kmet. I don't know who else is on this team. I mean, but I think we all know who's going to get Super Bowl MVP. It's got to be Saquon, right? Patrick Mahomes being a fraud, going 22 for 38, 242 yards, 57 completion percentage, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Sam Darnold being non-fraudulent, 18 for 22, 81 completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, and 200 yards. Josh Jacobs doing what he can. You know, this man had a great year. Saquon with 100 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing. And then he also had 5 receptions for 38 yards and 1 receiving touchdown. Christian Kirk had a great game. So I think we all know Saquon was the MVP of the league, whether we like it or not. Homie just carried the Dolphins to the playoffs, beat Mahomes, he beat Lamar, he beat Joe Burrow and the Titans. My boy did it all. The recap of the 2024 fantasy redraft was crazy. Josh Allen on the Buccaneers got MVP. The Raiders got the coach of the year with Antonio Pierce. Cooper Kupp got offensive player of the year on the Titans with Joe Burrow. Max Crosby got defensive player of the year on the Seahawks. Drake May with rookie of the year. Byron Murphy with defensive rookie of the year. The Dolphins win the Super Bowl, and Saquon obviously gets Super Bowl MVP. Crazy year. I mean, this doesn't look too insane. I guess it kind of does, with Dolphins winning the Super Bowl and Cooper Kupp winning Offensive Player of the Year again, and then Antonio Pierce winning Coach of the Year. So yeah, kind of crazy, but everything else kind of makes sense. I think this was a pretty fun redraft. I want to keep it going to see how it goes. So if you guys did enjoy, let me know. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.